Hello, Carson Sampson here from the Canadian Conference of MB Churches, moving forward with our video series based on frequently asked questions to CCBC leadership. One of the concerns that we've heard about the collaborative model has to do with the decision-making process. Our previous governance allowed for an individual to vote. Now, the perception around our new governance model is that it does not, and that there will be less engagement in the decision-making process. Do you share these concerns, Elton?
I can see how it can be confusing, but the reality is that we are keeping the goal of having delegates vote for things. So at the same level. In the past, we had 25, one delegate for every 25 member of a church, plus a pastoral vote as well. We are keeping it at the same level. The only thing that changes in this is where we do these votings. In the past, the votings were done at a national AGM that was the people from across the country would come to. Now, it's still going to be a national AGM, but now divided between the provinces. Every time a provincial conference is convened, there'll be an element of that. There'll be a national AGM. So the voices in this actually will increase. The other piece to the decision making is that we have just created, approved, and even released last December a 10-point decision making process that actually involves all parts of us, from the national ministry team, which are the senior leaders of provinces, to the National Faith and Life team, to the executive board, national board, to the churches, to all parts of us are speaking into that decision making. So I'm encouraged by having a more robust decision making process.
Excellent.
Yeah, I would agree. I think the 10-point decision making map and the longer timeline for that, plus, as you said, Elton, having the voting happen at the provincial conventions where people are typically more engaged, they understand the issues more. We did the math, I don't remember exact numbers, but if you have 200 or 300 people, let's say, voting on something in a national gathering, whereas if you go to the provincial assemblies, I think it's something like 700 or 800 people in total who are now voting on the same thing. So the number increases dramatically. And so we're actually able to increase the number of people's involvement in the voting, and also we're slowing down and stretching out the timeline. So I think there's lots of opportunity for people to engage.
So what I'm hearing is where you might have 200 to 300 gathered at an annual gathering, the representation of voters is broader and greater because they're voting at the provincial level. But some are mourning the loss of that national gathering, with biannual Equip Study conferences being our only national gathering. How do you address that concern and the feeling of loss there around building community as one?
Yeah, well, so we want to continue together as a family. I think that there's incredible value for us to gather together nationally and come from all corners of this country to be able to be together. A good example of how much we like each other is that the loudness of the place whenever there's a break in any kind of presentation, people are talking to each other. They truly like each other. So to continue to build those kinds of things are important. We are just decided to have an annual Equip event. One Equip event would be around the same study conference, which is more theological, more of a look at our confession of faith and things that matters from a biblical, theological, sometimes even academic side of things. And on the following year, we'll have more of an inspiration and practical, which we are thinking of calling Equipped for Mission. So we want to continue to build these opportunities for people to meet as the larger church.
Yeah, I would agree. That's what I'm excited about, is that we actually don't want to diminish the times that we gather. We want to increase it. We're just shifting some of the voting and the more business decisions to different places and different models, as we've already talked about, that engage, number one, more people, but also some of the provincial executive boards and so on. But the gathering that happens with our family, our MB family, will still happen on an annual basis. But now around things like we talked about our hermeneutic model at this last Equip conference, which was so good. And other things like that we can talk around about our discipleship strategies, how we engage mission, locally, nationally, globally, those kinds of things. And so there'll still be many opportunities to gather. It'll just be for different reasons. And so the love for gathering will still be there, and I trust will still be fulfilled for people.